Hello, welcome back to another video, and today we have the tutorial for the 363 block 5x5 funnel trapdoor, which just is fucking nuts. Another showcase was like on Halloween, because it's such a scary record, but I just couldn't get around to like do the tutorial, and now it's like Christmas and I'm doing daily videos, so might as well just fart it in here. Let's get right into it because there's so much talking to do and there's like no way this will be satisfying. So yeah, you want an 11 by 11 by 3 hole, so 3 under the floor, 11 by 11, doors centered as you can see here. And for the shopping list, you're gonna need this stuff. So you need a single redstone torch, lol. Torches in trapdoors are like a joke, unless, if they're 3 high at least, you know. 14 dust, 14 repeaters, 42 stickies, 5 normals, 3 redstone blocks, 14 comparators, 11 droppers, 19 hoppers, 6 tripwire hooks with 4 wire, because one of them is like longer than one string, you know. 4 note blocks and 2 composters, as well as a permanently toggled input, so a lever or a repeater. There is a difference, so this is affected by the input bug, because if you flick the lever, the input bug will, or like the input delay, I think, will like do the pistons differently compared to the like dropper, or the dropper differently to the other thing. Space should probably be able to tell you more about this. There's a difference between, like, because in the tick, the order in which things happen means that player input is registered like a tick later than most components or something. So the dropper already like fucked up its timing and stuff's happening. I think it's that this piston fires instantly and this dropper actually has to wait a tick before it does its thing, which throws off the timing of this entire circuit, causing this burnout right here to fail. So I'll show you how to fix that later. Yeah. And then some building blocks. I color-coded them here if you want. I think it's less than a stack of building blocks in total. You're gonna need like 3 definitely transparent blocks, and a slab, and 2 pushables. And then of course 60 door blocks. If you want to color-code it, red is input block, blue is... There isn't really anything to color-code, because most of it is just gray, which is like the whole thing, except for which isn't the whole thing, you know. It's really, like, there is no good way to do this, and you will see why very shortly. As well as that, you're gonna need 5 chest cards and 3 dummy cards, so TNT normals or not. Yeah, there's TNT or normals or furnaces, because hoppers and such are bad. And then you're gonna need 27 stackable items, 5 of a different stackable item, very important. 6 snowballs and 3 shovels. If you are going to build this linked to a repeater, you're going to need a 6th of this and 4 more of these, so 31 and 6 and 6 and 3. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. I will have to tell you this is directional, so make absolutely sure that your input is on the x-axis right here. So this is east, this is west. It doesn't matter if it's east or west, but it can't be north or south because of what I'm going to show you. So that's that. The reason this is directional. And, okay, so, excuse me, but, like, everything does, like, 5 things in here. So there's no way I can follow my traditional, like, tutorial structure. I just build the input outwards, because, like, then we just skip ahead and do stuff and things wouldn't make sense. So it'll be really, like, unorganized, but it'll make sense because I'll explain everything as we go. So we have our redstone block storage right here, with the door block, with like the center door block, and then 4 pusher blocks right here to get the redstone block to right there, which is where we need it for the triple, right? And then we have a folded storage right here, just because we like can't have a thing. We just can't have a you know, we can't just do this, you know. So we have a folder thing. So this pushes, this grabs, this pushes, and then we're done. So because there is no fucking way I have any room in here to like do manual storage. We're automating storage. We're just no fucks given putting a burnout right here. And you see that does the burnout. So now if we give this a 4-tick delay on the thing, so like this, you see this automatically stored the thing, which is perfect. This is exactly what we want. However, in the, and by the way, this also opens it, so if we just give this an update, you see it does the thing. So this right here is our entire storage. Bam! 4 blocks. Perfect. And this exact thing will fail in this on the z-axis, because there you see it. This block will not ever get pushed out. So what happens here is when the block manifests, so it becomes the block, so it turns from block 36 into the block. It sends out a block update. And block updates are always handled in -x positive x, -y plus y, -z plus z. So what happens here is the block manifests. And the first thing it does is update -x, which in this case is the sticky piston. So the very first thing that happens is the sticky piston gets updated, and the sticky piston is like, hold on, there's a torch here, so let me just extend. So this will just never give this piston time to extend in this direction, or in like on the z-axis. Meanwhile here, the first thing the block does is tell the normal piston to just push, and so the normal piston just pushes. And that's also why we need to like keep this guy extended, because otherwise, you know. But yeah. So this is how the storage works, which is already like split into two. Next, I should probably explain how the entire fucking triple works, because the triple is like the only reason like why this is hard, and I found a layout or like a setup which makes this really easy. I say really easy, but like you know. So we need a thing right here, because there's a double piston extender on top of this, which means our only real hope of ever powering this piston is by jamming in a redstone block right there. So the way the triple works is we 2-tick this guy, which conveniently 1-ticks the redstone block from this piston, and then we just hard power this dust. Bam! Triple, done. Wow, wow. Have you seen that? We 2-tick this, and now we're holding this, and it's an entire fucking triple. Folded, flush, triple. Insane. Almost as if the person who designed this was really good at what he's doing. You know? Just saying. And then what happens on the when we want to open the thing, right? This unpowers. We just give this a pulse however long we want. What this does, as you can see, it retracts the folder, and then the folded piston re-grabs the redstone block. Bam! And then the folder will re-extend. And then we power this. And then we unpower this. And then we do the exact same thing again. So we push this. The folder retracts the piston extends the redstone block, unpowering this. Simultaneously, the back piston grabs the front piston. Then when we retract this, we're here. And then we once again pulse this. So the entire triple is 2-tick, full. And then it's just pulse here, pulse there, pulse here, pulse there. So logically speaking, right, if we put this input on a certain delay after this input, we can just refire this input 2 times, and it will travel through the whole door, and then it will fire the thing. And if we look over here, this is exactly what's happening. You see, there's the one tick, there's the full extension. And then when we wait around 12 seconds for the timer to finish timing, you can see that turns off, pulls 1, pulls on the obsidian, pulls on the redstone block, pulls on the obsidian, and then we're done. So this triple, believe it or not, is the least complicated part of the entire thing, which just doesn't make any sense, right? So how do we refire everything? Well, I guess we should first build a layout, so we get a sense of space, you know? How little room we actually have to do shit. So there's 2 double piston extenders as sitting on top of this, and then 4 singles in a row. Same on this side, so we have 2 double piston extenders right here with 4 singles on top. Same here, 2 doubles with 4 singles on top, and then here we also have 2 doubles with 4 singles on top. And this is the layout. And this is how little room we have in each core area. So all of this room will be dedicated to controlling this piston, naturally, obviously. All of this room right here will be dedicated to powering this dust, right? And then there's no room here to do anything really, except that we are doing like 5 things in here. And then this whole corner will have to deal with this double piston extender in particular, and you will see why very shortly. So the only logical place to put all of the refiring is this corner, because this technically doesn't need to do anything like out of the ordinary, because both this and this side work exactly the same. So this corner is nice and empty for the refire to be put into. So how does the refire work? Well, to understand that, we just need to understand how the double piston extenders work. So the double piston extenders work as you'd expect them, and how the previous record did them. You have a 4 tick right here, and if we power this, it extends, and if we unpower it, it doesn't do shit. But if we give this a pulse now, we retract the back piston before the front piston ever gets powered. So now the only thing left is to power this guy, right? The previous record had a double piston extender right here with a redstone block, and we could do that, but the redstone block's double piston extender circuit actually uses up all the space, so no. And also, the community just had a fucking entity revolution, and everyone is chill with it now. So I guess Bram and Tio didn't even consider, or didn't have the knowledge. They didn't even have composters, so they didn't even have the required materials to build this, I guess. Although technically speaking, you could put it on a trapdoor or something. Anyways, so we are going to put a tripwire right here. They had to use a redstone block double piston extender, which took up all the room. So we're gonna put a thing right here with a composter, and then a rail, and then a minecart. This can be any minecart actually. I guess just one of them has to be a non-item minecart. Now you have 2 options here. Either you do the thing where you pull it down, or what I like to do is just one tick the cauldron, the composter in, and it'll also do the thing, you know. So this is the entire double now. So if we put a drop hopper right here with any item in it, really, it will be read from here, because this is really the only way. We need a solid block right here to power this piston, and then the only way to get power through a solid block over to is to add to do the drop hopper hard power. And then we put a node block right here just to update it for convenience. And if we fire this, you see we get the full extension. If we pulse this, we get the full retraction. Bam! Side double piston extender solved. Don't worry about this one. This one is a lot easier because we can access it from here, right? So the tripwire doesn't need to like actually do the last pulse. So we can actually just have a thing running into here, which is exactly what we're doing. So yeah, in theory, we can place it like this. This is exactly what it looks like over here. But in this corner, because we need to put the refire there, we can't. So now that that is out of the way, we go back to the refire. So the refire happens over here. But how does it happen from over here? So this corner fires this tripwire, and this tripwire conveniently, is connected to this fucker. So under here, we have, this is the block with the tripwire, and behind the block with the tripwire, we have a dropper facing upwards. And that dropper shoots its item into this little loop, which goes up around 3 and then into a chest minecart under the input block right there. And in there is an orange item, I think. Great. So this, I guess it could be dark blue. So this is another one of those things. This item is part of 3 circuits. 3 of them. So how do you color this? So yeah. This is the refire. So this corner has a ROM which fires this piston, and this piston fires this dropper, and this dropper refires the entire fucking thing. And that's how we get the refire on both this thing and on that thing. After each other, obviously, because this one is right here, and this one takes the entire fucking door to get there. Point proven, I guess. So, yeah. Now we can build this corner, right? Sorry, this is a mess. We broke the light green. This needs to be a slab with a 40. So this needs to be a slab so we don't accidentally lock this hopper. Or it can be a glass block, I guess, since everyone's now using glass blocks as transparent blocks, but I don't like doing that. So yeah. Also this needs to be a dust because this block is actually the front extension of this double. Because remember, the redstone block won't actually be there. This redstone block will be extended. So, yeah. This is a mess already. I am so sorry. So, we're reading this thing. We're reading this, this block into basically this. So, every time the ROM in this corner decides it's time, we fire the wire, the wire fires the dropper fires this comparator, the comparator fires this thing. And then the signal travels all the way through this, through this, and then it does this. And then the triple is done. Great. But if you remember, on the closing, we need this to 2-tick. But this will only ever give us 3.5. So how do we do this? So we need an item loop. We need a 3-station item loop which counts so this will pulse once on the closing and twice on the opening. So we need a counter to 3, and on every 3rd firing it needs to lock this hopper, this comparator for a tick. So that the are 2 ticks, I think. So the 3.5 tick becomes a 1.5 tick, which will then count as a 2 tick for the closing. I hope that made any sort of sense, and I'm not just speeding through this too quickly. So because the closing needs a short tick, a short pulse, we need a thing to cut this pulse shorter. Makes sense so far, I think. The way we do this is actually we exactly 2-tick this. We exactly 2-tick this. So what happens is there is an item loop right here, which the item is stuck in this hopper, and it goes into this hopper instantly. As soon as this piston decides to put, like, I'm going to start extending. The item leaves this hopper into this. And this hopper is read tick later, so not a tick, like two game ticks, this comparator turns on a tick later. And locks this, or negates this completely. So then this takes a tick to negate, and then this piston just unpowers, which should take 2 ticks, two redstone ticks. Or Space is going to be mad in the comments and tell you it's 2.5. Whatever the case, we managed to cut this signal down from 3.5 to something which this thing will take as a 2 tick. I think 2.5 should also work for this, because pistons are on a like 1.5 tick cycle, so 1 or 3, and in between doesn't give a shit. Like 2 is 3, 2.5 is 3, and unless we 1 tick, unless we 0 tick Space, please don't be bad. I try. So then this item goes into this dropper, and then this dropper, and then back into that. So perfect. That's what we need, right? So this gets negated from this item, and then so on the very first thing that fires, the item comes through here, fires this, powers the piston through the node block, and then the item, as I said, the item leaves, the item negates, and then the thing stops, and then we're all happy, right? And then the item is stuck down here, and then on the first time the opening pulses, it gets moved to here. And then on the second time the item pulses, the opening pulses, it gets reset back into this hopper. Which is what we need, because that's where it started. And so we have made a 3-station dropper hopper clock with just 2 droppers. Great. Now where's the catch? The catch is we need a minecart in this thing, but there are repeaters and comparators here. So let's get ready for the bullshit. So obviously, I guess first things first, we have a chest card right here. Right here. Push it. Which disconnects this hopper to this hopper down here. This is nothing special, right? So then we want a chest mine card, because we can't clip it into the chest card into the we can't clip the chest card into the we can't clip the chest card into the hopper, because this clip would work, but the clip with the comparator as well will not work, unless I'm just like probably stupid, but you know. Nah, actually there's a good chance I'm correct on this. So we push the node block in, then we don't place the comparator yet. First we need our diagonal rail. So obviously get your diagonal powered rail, and get your comparator back, because I did the wrong thing. And now we can place the comparator right here. So there's an issue again, because this chest card is sitting on top of a comparator, and this pillow furnace card is sitting on the block. So this chest card is higher. So if we clip this normally, this will either stick outside of this volume or push this card, which we can't have happen. So we need to get a rotated clip. So we need to rotate this at a 90-degree angle. We need to like clip this at a 90-degree angle without it rotating actually. So what you do is you push a fence gate into this thing, and then you drop it. And if you now break the rail, because we haven't touched the minecart, the minecart itself has not moved by itself, you know, besides gravity, but yeah. If we break this, it will snap back to the 90-degree rotation, and it's now sitting on top of this pillow card. And now we just need to make it floaty towards the hopper. So break this. I'm just gonna place it. Break this. Get your favorite chest. I'm not actually sure if I need the chest. I don't need the chest. Perfect. We don't need the chest. And now this should, in theory, give its item to the thing if the thing were to like not be locked, and then the item should be back here. It is perfect. And now you can push this back in fully back in. And that's our first, like that's basically the only bullshit minecart in this. The other minecarts are all easy and like nothing special. So that's like the bullshit. And inside of a comparator, which the mode doesn't matter. And the item should be locked in this hopper, and don't worry, when this dropper pulses and this piston extends, the item will have just enough time to get sucked from this cart into this hopper and re-lock the hopper. So this should, in theory, just like, I haven't had this break and I don't think it can break, but I didn't math it out, just, you know. So this is just to get the 2-tick on the closing on this thing, because that's like the special thing, you know. And we already have like a bullshit corner, and there is no room left in this corner. Let's face it, these 2 blocks are not really helpful, except they are, but you know, whatever. Great, moving on. How does the refire actually look, right? So we have a ROM. So we have a hopper circle right here in the corner, going into this corner block. And what we do have is a clip minecart, obviously. I mean, what else do we have, right? We can fill in this wall like this, you know. These are like this, and then we can place our diagonal rail, place our other rail, place our fence to push the chest cart against, and then we just push a chest cart against the fence, because that's why we build it. There we go. Now we just push in the wall and the door block, and there we go. So this is our hopper timer. It's locked from here, and that powers the threadstone block, and that's how the thing works. You know, you've seen a hopper run before, hopefully. Otherwise, this tutorial is probably way too advanced and skipping over way too many things. But yeah, current state, items are trapped in here. Locked state, items are trapped in here. And actually, the items are trapped in here, I think. No. Yeah, so the items are trapped in here, and right, the items are trapped in the minecart. The items are trapped in the minecart, and then because the hopper is locked. So when the hopper unlocks, it will start sucking one by one, like one after the other from the minecart, and that's why this doesn't overstack itself. So this is the ROM. The ROM looks as follows. We have 4 blocks and a shovel, and then we have 4 different blocks and a shovel. Important, these are stackable, non-stackable, stackable, non-stackable. You could probably get away with an egg, but I am not sure. I haven't tested it. Do that on your own, like, caution thing, whatever. If you know how item stacks work, you know how to do this, and I don't need to explain it. And if you don't know, you shouldn't fuck around with it. So we read this into there, which is why we need a transparent block the hook can sit on with like a surface on top, and that didn't. I think that already didn't exist for Bram and the Tio. Not sure. I don't give a fuck. So obviously we constantly need to subtract 1 from this, because yeah, that's how the thing works, you know. So we're constantly subtracting 1, and then when the ROM delivers a wool block, it won't do shit, and when the shovels come by, this will then be enough to overpower the -1. It will fire this, do the thing, and yeah, and then do the refire, which I explained around. I don't see the timer. I guess it was like 15 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. I'm not sure. So that's that. Now we can finish building this corner while we're at it. So as shown before, we just power this from here, because we can't place the dropper like this as shown. That was a bad idea. Instead, in this corner, we needed flying over this. So we just have a flying thing with a gray item in it, if you're color coding it. And then here it is just a 1 tick into block wall, or 1 tick again. Power this. This dust also powers this, which is the front extension of the double boost extender. So if we fix this item from here to, actually it should be right. Nah, it should be right here, and then this. Okay, so we fix this, and then we put the item back, and then we put this back, and then we update the torch. I love this. Then this is fixed, and then these aren't hooked up yet. So these should work now. Hopefully. I mean, the closing should work if we power this. But like, so we hard power this. So you see both doubles work. The ROM is now in here, and this double piston extender works, and oh, we have a leak. Oh yeah, because the spit its item out. Actually, that's not the problem, but this happened because I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. But yeah, we can see the refire in action when we yeah, because we took out the subtracting item. Let's pretend that did not happen. Right, I know exactly why this happened. So the thing that's happened is the thing I didn't explain about the storage. So this is another thing I wanted to demonstrate, so I just demonstrated it, which is perfect because I didn't like write in my notes that I need to demonstrate it, but I wanted to demonstrate it, so now I'm demonstrating it. Because totally planned to demonstrate it, but didn't actually write down to demonstrate it, so I didn't demonstrate it, but I actually demonstrated it. So there's a fucking problem. This 2-tick is too fast. So where's it? This 2-tick happens so fast that this whole this through this, powering this, hard powering this through the node block, pulsing the item upwards, 2-ticking the thing, happens so fast that the burnout is still burning out. Which, as you saw, pushed. So we went into so we are in this state, and this piston just 2-ticked. So this just 2-ticked, creating a fucking air block right here, and the burnout is still burning out, and that pushes this thing in and completely fucks up everything I just explained. So we can't have that happen. Right? Makes sense. We just don't, lol. If it doesn't work out, we just don't. So what we need to do is this piston right here is not actually here. We actually, unironically, store the fucking storage piston out here. So this burnout can't push the blocks back over because there is nothing to push the blocks over. So this burnout can only store. And if you ask, wait, at the very start of the video, you explained something about why this only works in the X direction, but like this can't occur if this happens in the X direction. Well, this still fucks up the closing. So this right here still wouldn't work on the other direction. So yeah, great. Now that that is done, if this item is here, no, it's not. Of course, it's not. We can put that back here. If we do this again now. You see, we get to this point, and if this obsidian gets power eventually, we get the triple and everything is fine. We're fine. I am fine. Do not send medical help. And then this turns off, and then we get our refires, which is Once again broken because we once again spit out the item. I fucking hate myself. Maybe you should send help. So let me just like put this right here and then put a second item in here. Because one is for subtracting, which never leaves the thing, and one is for actually getting the power through, because this is actually the way how we power the next side. But, you know, yeah. So if we let the ROM run again, which I can't really do right now, we get the refire. So we get the refire, then we pulse this, and then we get the other refire, and then we do this, and then we're done. Trust me, we're done. This should be reset now. It is perfect. So, and then we extend this, and then we update the torch, and then we grab this, and now we're good. Now we're fine again. We're fine. I'm fine. Moving on. This has once again the 4-tick trick, which just powers the wall for this, as well as the guy right here. This actually needs a stackable item because we need a signal strength of 3 to come out of the comparator. Once again, this just powers for the middle pull, like the middle thing, you know, the final pulse of this double. We need a tripwire under this, which goes to right there with a string, and then we just place our minecart again with a fence or any hitbox. Really, I think a chest would work to break this. 1-tick a composter in, and just place this. And once again, we have a comparator reading this into a thing with a note block. And on this side, we actually do place our second one right next to it because we can. Also, we need this room, and do the thing, and then dupe, and then dupe. This is hard powered from right here, which just gets a 1-tick. Again, this dust is needed, so this powers this block, and this block powers the piston right there. So now this side works too. If we do the thing again, we fire everything. You see, these two sides work. The triple works as soon as we fire this, and then we turn this off, or like, so like, okay, so we turn off the input, and then we turn this off, and then the refire happens, and then we fire this, and then the other refire happens, then we fire this again, and then we're done. Don't worry about this. Yeah, so these two sides work now. And the refire of this works, and the counting works so that we cut down, we cut shorter the fucking pulse on the closing. You know, everything works so far. And this corner is a fucking mess with like 2 air blocks, and it barely holds together. And so you start to realize there's a problem. We can't have a tripwire for this, but I mean, we can have a tripwire if we like put it right here, but we're not having a tripwire for this fucking piston. Now that I think about it, we maybe could have had a... No, we can't have a tripwire for this piston. And that's because we need a 4-tick right here to do the 4-tick trick again. So, because of this 4-tick, there is no way to have the tripwire right here. I experimented around with floating pressure plate and shit, but it just didn't work out. So what we're doing in this remaining corner, and of course there's once again a thing right here with the thing, and we're hot powering the thing. Is that a dark blue? Okay, that's a light gray already. So this is all light gray apparently, and so the way we do this is we do the trick where we turn this off for 1-tick, and because this is on when the piston is retracting. So the piston starts retracting and we turn it back on. So the currently retracting back piston cannot react to this signal. And when this piston itself is done being pulled backwards, it gets the very first block update of itself. And itself, like it updating itself, realizes, hold on, we're powered. So the front piston starts extending before the back piston can do anything. And that's how this retraction works. And then when we turn it off, the top piston updates the bottom piston to update the bud, and you know, this is like a normal thing by now. If you'd watched the video, you should be like advanced enough in redstone that I don't need to explain this to you. So how do we do this? Well, first off, we need to get a law. We just need to get a pulse to this, right? So one dust, and then a 2 tick. So this is just hard powering on the closing. There's nothing special. Now we need to, since a 3.5 tick pulse is coming through this on the refire, because this could, 3.5 tick pulse is coming through this. So 3.5 ticks comes through here. So this will be on for 3.5 ticks and has a delay of 2. So if we calculate that through, this thing will turn on at 2, off at 5.5, which means we need to turn it back on at 6 or 6.5, or yeah, those are the only 2 options. So what we're doing is we take this dust, run it into a 4 tick, and run it into another 1 tick. So what we're doing is this repeater turns, so this dust turns on 2 as said, off on 5.5, and on again on 1.56. So there's half a tick where this shit is off, and that's how we do the retraction on this double piston extender. And you can see that if I just do it. So you see this just got fully extended, and then if we just ignore this, and then right here you can see that there's the first one and there's the second one. Perfect. So that's how this one works and why that one has a special color. And I couldn't do this on this corner because once again we need the space for the refire and the thing, and the true wire is just way easier. So yeah, on to the last bits, right? So this thing is actually going straight into magenta, which is the triple circuit, I think. Yeah, pretty sure this is the triple circuit because I made it. So we have a thing, into a block, into a slab, I think. Oh no, right, this is the drop hopper. So we just run this straight into another drop hopper. The reason for that is the drop hopper will not fuck around with the burnout if I'm like doing anything. So this dust right here, the converter doesn't touch the burnout, the dust doesn't touch the burnout. If I were to have a like repeater here or something like this, maybe I mean we're having this bad example. We need to get a signal through this to this, but this also needs to fire the wall for this double, right? This double needs this double needs a block right here to do the doubling. So we need a block right here. So this needs to be a fucking cross. And for this to be a cross, we need to power it through a block, and to power it through the block, we need to power it, because we can't power it from here, because, you know, locationality. We need to power it through here, and the only way to do this is to either have a block with dust right here, or a comparator, so we're just using a fucking comparator. Right. Put an item in there, please. And then while we're here, right, the way we fire the burnout on the opening is we place a 4 tick right here, run that into another block. I think this one is just gray because I colored it gray to power this block, even though it's powered from below already. It is gray. So this should technically be light green. Now that I'm here, I have to criticize myself. This is light green. So this is off, but like, whatever, no one gives a shit anyways, you just want to see me suffer. Or talk and explain, one of those two. Yeah. While we're here, obviously this powers, oh right, this is why this is great. This is powering this double system. So this, again, this dust is like 3 colors, so how do you color code this? I need a block which just, like, has 3 colors on it. Someone make a text, don't make a text. Logically speaking, right, this does full extension, and then we do the And then we just add a 2 tick right here, which will then do the retraction, because that's how double pulse extenders work. This is the classic, this could be the classic 240 double pulse extender, and the main important thing is that like this doesn't need to be a 4 because this turns off first anyways, and this 4 tick repeater is enough delay so that like this piston is already retracted again when the burnout fires, so there's not even a piston here which could be budded. So just put a fucking 2 tick, please, God. We don't want to let. Okay, so if we put this on what, we could put this on 3 or 4 technically speaking, but then the opening will break, which I will, the closing will break, which will demonstrate after we're done hitting it. So then just put a 2 tick. I don't want to. You can place in this wall, you can place in this wall, you can place in all these door blocks, and this air block will be filled later. So now the door frame is like completely covered. Extend this, update the torch, and then retract this, and then we're done. So our door is now closed and opened. Fuck, I keep messing those two up like too often. What's left? Well, one thing that's left is okay. One thing that's left is powering the back of this double piston extender. So yeah, that one. Without causing too many problems with this one, because well, it wouldn't cause a problem on the closing because the front one is blocking it anyways. But the opening could cause problems if we like do the poorly time this extension. Even though like it doesn't really matter. Like just trust me, okay. There are obviously cases where, so in this position, because this piston is right there, it technically doesn't matter which one extends first, because all that matters is that one of these two pistons is pushing that one forward. It doesn't really matter which. And we're retracting both of these anyways before this guy does its thing, which then again doesn't matter. But in this spot right here, it's important that the back piston doesn't push, because then it's just hopeless. Because there's nothing left for this to do. So there is a like a fucky timing to this, where the back piston needs to start extending half a tick, or like definitely a certain amount of time after this dust, but also there needs to be like so the triple can't extend the back before the front, but the double right here needs to extend the back first on the closing and the front first on the opening, because otherwise we're just stuck in this position, right? Because the front will extend and then the back can't grab it, and yeah, the other way around, it won't even close properly. So this is actually the only thing that's left from Relp's ideas in here, which is to put a no block right there and then piston upwards, and then we're going to push a minecart into a tripwire. And this is gray, I think. Yes, it is. And this is actually our too long tripwire for reasons. What am I looking for? I need the glass. There. So two tripwires, and then we're going to put the string. Shouldn't have put the string in before placing the minecart, but yeah. Trust me, you want this minecart to be floaty to the left. That will be obvious when we build the last couple of circuits, because there are still 2 circuits left. So you see, the comparator powers the dust, and the dust powers the piston, and this piston extends simultaneously, but this piston takes at least a game tick. It doesn't matter, this piston has already decided it's going to extend. So the back piston will not be able to push in front of before the front piston does. And on the closing, we just need to make sure that we bud this piston from over here. Spoiler alert, we're budding it from over here, which is what light blue does. So that's how that works. And the reason why this tripwire is too long and we kind of have the hook right here is because there is a hopper right there which we do not want to lock, which is also why this needs to be floaty, but we will get to that when we get to that! So, this bullshit, right? So if we just close this right now, if this is retracted, yes, and if the orange items in this spot, yes, we can close this. This will do the closing except for that single right there, and the double, I guess. But no, the double will already, like, why didn't... Alright, because, yeah, so this is exactly what I explained. This back piston never got the bud update. So, this should, in theory, be extended right now, as you can see right there. And then this single just isn't connected to anything yet. But obviously, if we power this block, that will close. So the closing is now done, if we build it. And what light blue, like, we also, like, don't have the double retraction for this double piston extender yet, right? And we're going to, like, do the thing all at once. So we are going to grab the thing. We can open it, by the way, just fine now, I think. So another burnout fires, and we haven't like put the timer in for the thing to push over yet. So if we extend this manually, give this another update, we do the thing, then we'll close it, and then we're done when this... So you see this double piston extender is not grabbing its block into the final slot. So this is all what light blue does. The pulse on the hard powering on the closing and the... So we need a pulse on this guy, but we need to hard power this guy. So we just hard power everything. Fuck it. No fucks given, we're doing it. We're going in hard. And that's why there's a 1 tick and a comparator right here. Because we are reading through this block. We need reading through this block, and the only way to like get from this input, because this dust is only connected to the red input block, only. This dust gets refired twice, this one doesn't. So we just put a 3 tick and put a dropper right there, and a hopper on top of it, and I'll put a light blue item in there. 3 tick doesn't matter. This could be a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Dust could work. Yeah, dust should work. But if you want to put a dust, then put it on a slab, so you don't bud this by accident. The reason I put it on 3 is because if it's 3, then 4, 5, 6, this will be timed nicely, so this single extends simultaneously with these. I think, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks nicely. It will extend, like, combined with this guy. So these guys extend simultaneously with this one, if this is a 3 tick. So just put it on 3. It looks nicer, trust me. And there you go. You see, the closing is done. Woohoo! We did it. The thing got fired after what, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like it got fired really early before the signal even traveled through half the door, and powered the back of this double before this could turn on, as well as hard powering this piston. The closing is now done. So what's left now is to push this thing into place while the last burnout is happening, after the triple is done, and pull it back out in time. And of course, how do you do that? We put a hopper timer in this spot! In this spot! Like, dude! So this is actually a 1 hopper timer, with this chest acting as the other like container. So just put a thing right there and place a hopper facing into the chest. That's why this chest had to be floaty. So when this chest goes up, its content can go into the hopper, And the hopper can't push it anywhere because the hopper is facing into the piston arm, you know? Like this. And then when the chest goes back down, the hopper can then put it back into the chest without being able to suck from it. So this is basically just... This is really just your really like standard hopper timer. This is exactly this, just that the torch, the thing, this is just the minecart moving up and down. And in here you want 13 items, I think. Yeah, you want 13 items and 6 snowballs. Now you might be wondering, cube, what the fuck? This does not make any sense, because why would there need to be 6 snowballs? Well, remember what I said. We need to push this in while the burnout is happening and pull it back out so the closing doesn't break. Also, if this was here permanently, it would also break on the opening, because the opening also has like situations where this is an air block or a piston and this is an air block. You know, the opening would also break if this was here 24/7. So we're like having it here. And conveniently, this obsidian right here, right there, which is mainly there to prevent this from firing, is also preventing this from firing when this dust is pouring it, you know? Like multitasking obsidian right here. It's taking pressure from 2 sides. So, back to the hopper timer. Why is this 13 and 6? If you think about it, what is 13 and 6? If we just punch this into a thing, you will realize that if we punch this into a hopper, if you look at the top right corner, you will see that this is dust power 2, which means this is signal strength 2, which means that this is signal strength 2. And as soon as certain items leave this hopper, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. As soon as all of the stackables and 1 snowball leave the thing, this piston retracts, which isn't what we need. We need this to go from 2 to 1, because 2 to 1 will cause the piston to extend. Why will 2 to 1 cause this piston to extend? Because we're constantly blocking it from pushing. You can place that right there and save a glass block. Did I do that over here? I did not. Yeah, just. Ooh, wait, no, you can't. There's a reason. Because remember when this retracts this double, right? This is off for it. This is off, right? So this piston will retract, and then this piston at the front will extend, and you know, when this dust turns off, the only reason this piston retracts is because the piston above it updates it. A piston in this location will never turn off because it never realizes that it's no longer powered, because this doesn't do shit and it can't get an update from anywhere else. I guess I'm talking shit again, because this would technically update the head. Just place it there, for fuck's sake. Do not question the elevated one. Yeah. So we're constantly hard powering this. And then we put this on a signal strength of 2. And then we unpower this, obviously. And then when this goes from 2 to 1, the comparator updates the piston. The burner does the thing. And then when it goes from 1 to 0, it retracts again. This is like the biggest big brain move. And yeah, the only reason why this is 5 snowballs is because this could be stackable items, but then the reset time would be longer. You know, the reset time and the wait time between firing it would be longer. So that's why there are 13 and 6. In general, like, and on the 7x7 funnel and the 7x7 cave as well, the only reason the hopper timers look so fucking bad or like random is because I'm trying to minimize reset time by making the last bit of like buffer as few items as possible, you know? In theory, this could also just like improvising here. In theory, this could also be like 14 wool, which shouldn't, like 14 wool is like a single select of 1, and then a shovel, and then another 4 items, and then another shovel, which would like go from 7 to 6, updating the piston, and then from 6 to 0, like unpowering it, whatever, doesn't matter. And now we're done! So now everything is done. This is built on the x-axis, so the triple piston extender needs to face in the z-axis, and the input needs to face into the x-axis. We're done. So this hopper ROM is actually a lot faster than this timer, obviously, because it has more items in it. So you need to wait for this. Actually, you can wait for 2 items less, because it takes the signal around 2 or 3 items to actually get here. So that's why the reset time is 12 or something seconds. I don't care. And looking at this corner, you will see it extend and retract again. Whew. Congratulations, you've built it. But wait! Cube, what the fuck? We never talked about how this double piston extender does the last retraction. Remember? We built light blue to hard power this single and to power this on the closing. So why the fuck does this suddenly do the thing? Well, if we look at it again, right? It is perfectly timed in a way so that the refire coming from here, from the wire, from the ROM, from the wire, from this comparator right here, which goes to the counter. If you notice, the fucking comparator from the counter also hard powers this dropper. I would say it's on accident, but it was actually planned, like actually planned. To go up and then go over through this and power this. So the delay between this wire and this repeater is just like this light gray situation, enough to like turn this off for a tick. So when the other thing turns on, the front piston will realize right there. You see? And then so this turns off, and then a tick later the wire turns on, which then powers this. If we remove this, you can see it better. So there's the extension, and we wait for the thing. And then if we look at this right there, and that's it. So F1. But so by a fucking miracle, and by miracle I mean smart planning, obviously. Like I did so much math for this. I mathed this, I mathed this, I mathed the whole like going around. So the reason this is right here and is actually important. You can't just have a dust right here and then a repeater or something right here or some thing if this wasn't there. This is actually timed out because this is once like the dropper is once again a different timing. So this okay, I'll get to that later. Yeah, so this is the reason why this is the 3 tick and this isn't the 3 tick. Because if we were to put the delay in here to make it look nicely, it wouldn't work. So, yay. Which is also ironically why this is like I had this plan for so long to just have like a hopper timer right here, which holds this on forever, and it's just not even necessary. Like this is actually like just 3 air blocks, lol. So, bam, we did it, right? We did it. We did it. It's done. It is done. It is done. The closing also works perfectly. Nice. Bam. Wait for the hopper timer. F1. Hopper timer is done. We can open it. And now we have a fucking flashback to what I said during the shopping list. And remember that if we hook this up to our favorite T flip-flop of choice and a button, it breaks! And the reason it breaks is because the input bug, which makes a one game tick difference between this piston firing the burnout and the signal going through the dropper through everything else to here, to this block in particular, to power this thing. The one game tick difference causes the burnout and the 2 tick, and any other tick length, by the way. So if you put this on 1, it also, like, it would work, but then the opening wouldn't work anymore. And if you put it on 3 or 4, then the closing would also fail. So because of it, this piston is like off. So as we have it right now, with the one game tick difference, this piston is immovable. Block 36, you know, it's not done when this thing tries to extend. Therefore, it doesn't extend. Therefore, the closing fails. So the opening actually works completely fine if we just like fix this manually. The opening will work completely fine. Bam, there we go. So the opening works completely fine. And the one game tick we're missing. So if we do it like this, right? The burnout fires the 2 tick, the 2 tick powers the piston, the 2 tick turns off, the piston retracts, which takes 3 game ticks, so 1.5 redstone ticks already. And after 1.5 game ticks, the next tick, this piston extends, and the next game tick, this repeater turns back on. I think. Space is going to like either agree or just make me look like an idiot. So just, you know, you saw it. It doesn't work. If we do the lever, you saw it retract and the back piston immediately extend. And if we open it and then we close it again, you know, I should have used that one to demonstrate. Oh, and here you can see the comparator is just on. It's just on, but the signal strings changing from 2 to 1 gives an update, which then updates the thing. And then if we do this with a, you see, the back piston just didn't get the memo because it got the memo, but it couldn't because the front piston said no. So how do we fix this? This is actually the reason why I had to put a drop hopper right here. Because if we had this drop hopper, that will work, but then the lever wouldn't work anymore. And I don't think there are guidelines on if a lever needs to work, or if a repeater needs to work, but if both work, we can't, like, I can't get into trouble, so I make both work. So how do we fix this? Well, let's just open it, like, get done. So how do we fix this? The key is to set this thing to 3 ticks, so that for some reason, I think the burnout is done burning out when the, although that can't be it, because if we set this to 3 and do the lever, it should fail again. Yeah, so if we set this to 3, this fails again, and do the lever, because then it's once again like off cycle or something. I don't fucking know. This is like, it's 4 AM. Please excuse my leaving out one piece of information when you had like 20 other bits of information which you didn't even want to hear. Also, this fails now. Perfect. Right, so this fails now because we put extra delay here, so the difference between this and the wire is now bigger. Great, isn't it? So to fix that, we need to put an extra item into here. So we put an extra blue item and an extra other blue item into here. So now this works with the thing. You see, it works. It just works. I'm making my best Howard impression. It just works. No, that was bad. Don't put that on Twitter or something. But now, as you already saw, this didn't work on the opening. We made the closing work. Does the opening work? Does it work? Will it blend? Where's the hole? I can't find the hole. That's what he said. It works. It fucking works. But just to be sure, add extra 3 items in here. Because I've had it happen on the server that this hopper decided, nah. Or like the entity decided, nah, and it fell earlier. Like it fell earlier or later, or the hopper was like, nah. Some of this went nah, and it just didn't. So then the slider was not slid over correctly. So if we add 3 extra items in there, and wait for the thing, and open it, this will then work as intended. Always. I hadn't had this fail like once in like what 500 attempts or something. And of course now if we were to fire it with the lever, it breaks again. Just FYI. Yeah, there we go. So if you want a lever, set this to 1. These are 4141. And this is 13.6, and if you want it with a repeater, then it is, as you just saw, it's 3 right here, 5151, and just to be safe, 16.6. And there you go, you now know almost everything which is going on inside of here. The smart ones from you can will see the rest which I left out, and the other ones don't need to know the rest because the rest is like so fucking stupid that it just, doesn't matter. And yeah, that's how you build this. So let's just put that there, put this back to 1. Take one out. And take out 3 from here. There we go. That's how you build the thing. One last time. Yeah, okay, that was a bad timing on the X-ray. And like by now this should be done, yeah, and then we just open it, and then maybe once again from below. There we go. Majestic, revolutionary, 5x5 funnel trapdoor, layout sized, folded triple, probably unbeatable because what Johnny did with the normal non-trap 5x5 funnel, where you cut 1, add a folded double into the wall, that just doesn't look possible in a 3 high, because to fire this, you need like you need a dust. Right, you need to hard power this, or you need like a redstone block in there, which makes it even more impossible, right? So you need like a dust there or there, so you need like a double right here with like one of these, this, and then this, and this. But that just looks way too complicated, and I've tried, and Relp tried, and like a bunch of people, like I've shown this to, tried, and it didn't work. So I'm just leaning out of the window here and saying this is as small as possible. If anyone takes this from me, I will murder you. Because, yeah, the fucking Trapdoor corner of the World Records plot is mine! And, yeah. I'm definitely not becoming a giant egotistical narcissist asshole when it comes to trapdoors. Bye! Okay, maybe recording like like twice a year and like a bunch of videos at once isn't the best idea because uh like I'm getting so out of shape with the bye saying that like my byes get shorter and shorter and I get out of breath faster and faster. And I feel like the byes quality have dropped significantly since I like did a thing. Anyways, thumbnail time. Oh yeah, that's a sexy thumbnail.